So today we start our journey on the cases in German, the case system. So let's have a wee look. First of all, the first one we need to deal with is, of course, the nominative case. German has 4 cases: Nominative, Accusative, Genitive and Dative. The nominative case is the one that you really can't do without. So what I want you to do is just think about what the subject in each of these sentences is. What is the subject in each of these sentences? In other words, what does the verb? Just underline it. You can pause the video while you do this. Okay, so if we were to have a wee think about this, and the reminder that the subject is what does the verb, who or what does the verb. So in each sentence, if we're identifying the subject, number 1, my car has broken down on the motorway. My car is the subject of that sentence. You can't tell if something is a subject just because it comes before the verb you, especially in German because word order can change. It is it is also a subject, sorry, we've got 2 verbs. It is the form of the article which shows which word is the subject. So it is, what is, it is, the form of the article which shows which word is the subject. The subject is always in the nominative case. The subject, sorry, is. This table, what is it that shows? The table shows you the nominative form of lots of words which can accompany a noun. And she does not teach grammar very well. She is the subject of that verb. So that was just a wee English thing, just to get us thinking about what the subject of a sentence actually does. So if we're changing it to German then, nouns mostly don't show case. You can't see it from the actual word, but any article in front of them does. So when we say article, we're meaning like the words for the and a, or this and those and each. So der, die and das, or eine, ein. Pronouns do show case, so we need to get our pronouns right. So if I just go back the way, sorry, and let that come up again, just, or maybe not. So pronouns wise, the subject pronouns are er, sie and es. In simple terms, he, she and it, but remember, the er, sie and es refer to the gender of the noun. So if you're talking about table, then the word for it is er. If you're talking about a cat, which is feminine, then it's sie, etc., etc. Okay, so what are the nominative forms? In other words, the subject form, so the words for the, der, die and das, and then die for plural. Words for a, or my, or your, we call these indefinite article, ein, ein, and there's no word for plural, or pronouns er, sie and es, and sie for plural. But if there's a possessive, my, your, etc., that will show case. So you have to think about the ending on that as well. For the nominative, it will be meine, deine, seine, etc., etc. So what's the evidence here? Well, we're going to look at some examples. So here is just a table of the different words that you will need when we're talking about the nominative case. So the word for the, der, die, das. I haven't got the plural in this table. The plural would be die. A or an, ein, ein, and so on down there, all the way, all the different words that you would need. Okay. The nominative case is used when a noun or pronoun is the subject of the verb. In other words, who or what does the verb. So, der Hund bellt, eine Katze ist in der Nähe, sie fliegt. Okay, so the dog is barking, der Hund bellt. Eine Katze ist in der Nähe, a cat is nearby, or sie fliegt. She is running away, or it's running away if we're talking about the cat. So yeah, there's a wee story there. So the dog's barking, a cat is nearby, it runs away. The cat, that is, not necessarily she, because the cat's feminine, therefore the word has to be sie. The nominative case is also used after the verb to be and to become. So you wouldn't say Southampton is, it's when it gets to masculine, you need to worry about that really. So du bist Not einen guter Freund, but ein guter Freund. And ich bin es. Okay, so let's relook at these. Southampton ist die schönste Stadt. Southampton is the most beautiful town. Du bist ein guter Freund. You are a good friend. And ich bin es. Here I am. I am it, literally, but here I am. Ich bin's. Okay. So, nominative case is fairly straightforward. It's very simply summed up as that the subject is the nominative case, the subject of the verb. It's probably the easiest one to learn because of that, because it's so simple. Okay, the reason it's probably so simple is because the words for the and are the first words you learn. Whenever you're learning German right from the beginning, you learn whether words are der, die, or das, and eine. Okay, so that, in a nutshell, is the nominative case.